all, welcome back to my lecture series. This is Muktuminal R, Assistant Professor from the Department of Agricultural Engineering at SNS College of Technology. Today we'll see the topic on headworks that comes under the unit Diversion and Impounding Structures under the subject Irrigation and Drainage Engineering for the students of third year Agricultural Engineering 6th semester. Before moving into today's topic, let us briefly recall some of the concepts that we have already studied, like uh, crop season, duty, delta, base period, and methods of irrigation. All these concepts are necessary and are associated with the crop water requirement and the efficient distribution of water. So we are going to see an important component of diversion and impounding structure, namely headworks, as today's concept. So now we have you ever wondered how water from a river reaches agricultural fields located several kilometers away? Rivers naturally follow their own course, and without proper control, much of the water would simply flow into the sea. Therefore, engineers construct special structures across the rivers to raise the water level and divert a portion of water into the canals. These structures are known as headworks. In simple words, headworks act as the gateway between the river and the canal system. They ensure that the sufficient water enters into the canal so that the crop receive water when it is required. The primary function of headworks is to raise the water level in the river and facilitate diversion into the canals. Besides this, they also regulate the quantity of water entering the canal and prevent the excessive sediment from entering the distribution system. As I have shown here, the main functions are diverting the water into the irrigation canal, maintaining required water level, regulating the discharge entering the canal, and also preventing the flood water entry. Now let us discuss about the important function of headwork, that is flood control. During heavy rainfall, rivers carry enormous amount of water. So the properly designed headworks helps us to manage these variations and protect irrigation structures from the damage. Now let us discuss the major components of headworks. The first component is the weir or barrage. A weir is a fixed structure, whereas a barrage has movable gates that provide better control over water levels. Next comes the divide wall, which separates the river flow and guides the water smoothly towards the canal entrance. So the another important component is fish ladder. As I have shown in the structure, the four main components of headworks have been cited. Those are the offtake structure, regulating structure, flow measuring device, and sediment flushing arrangement. That means at the regulating structure and offtake structure, the components that I have said before comes under together, so that every possible way of controlling the water flow is happening perfectly. Now let us see what the offtake structure does. It is located at the side of the river, and that is, it helps us to control the diversion of water into the canal, first structure through which the water enters the canal. Here is where the fish ladder is also available. Fish migration is essential for maintaining the ecological balance of rivers. It provides a passage for fish to move upstream even after the construction of headworks. Then we have the under sluices, which helps us to remove the silt and sediment accumulated near the canal entrance. Excessive sediment deposition can reduce the carrying capacity of canals and increases the maintenance cost. The canal head regulator controls the amount of water entering the canal. It acts like a valve that regulates the water supply according to the irrigation requirements. It acts as a protective structure, also provided to prevent the scouring and erosion around the headworks. Now let us understand how the offtake structure behaves. These structures are responsible for diverting water from the river into the canal network. Their design should ensure adequate water supply while minimizing the sediment entry. A regulating structure further helps in controlling and measuring the discharge entering the canals. Proper regulation ensures equitable distribution of water among the farmers. Another critical aspect is sediment flushing arrangement. Rivers carry suspended particles of sand and silt. If these particles are allowed to enter canals continuously, they may settle and reduce canal efficiency. Therefore, sediment flushing arrangements are provided to remove deposited materials and maintain smooth operation. Thus, the headworks are not merely concrete structures, they are vital engineering systems that enable the efficient utilization of river water. Without headworks, large scale canal irrigation would not be possible. Therefore, headworks form the foundation of irrigation engineering and plays a significant role in enhancing agricultural productivity and ensuring food security. So, this is what I have prepared for today's class. As a summarization, we have seen about irrigation headworks and diversion structures, particularly about their primary function and components along with its operation. This is if you guys have any kind of doubt or anything, you guys can ping me anytime. See you at the next class. Thank you.